Sixers fans, welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Lawrence Arnell, and this is Sixers City, where we don't get to be excited for very long at all. Coming to you the day after the 76ers took a big loss to the Detroit Pistons. I don't even know where to begin. 105-95 Detroit over the Sixers in what was easily the most embarrassing, arduous task in viewing of a Sixers loss that I can remember. I've felt less disappointed in this team losing in the first round of the playoffs last year than I did in watching them take this loss to Detroit last night. And I had the fortunate misfortune of getting to see it in person. I actually took my wife and my daughter to the game last night. We managed to have a good time in spite of watching the Sixers fall to a team that they have absolutely, quite frankly, nobody has any business losing to the Pistons. The Sixers are the first team to fall to the Pistons this year. That said, my wife, who was absolutely too kind, too sweet of a human being to boo Tobias Harris, so I had to recruit my daughter to join in on the rain of boos that thundered throughout the stadium throughout the course of the game. It was the most fun part of the game to watch, but it did not stop Tobias Harris from getting his lick back, quite frankly. Tobias Harris went out and dropped 15 and 13, I think it was, a double-double. I'm going to tell you guys straight up, the most painful part of watching this game was not watching Tyrese struggle to go 2 for 10 from 3. It was not watching Andre Drummond play soft defense. It was not watching Jason Ivey absolutely look like Anthony Edwards against us last night. That was not the toughest part of this for me. The toughest part of this for me was this right here. It was watching Tobias Harris play bully ball against the 76ers. I mean, this guy was backing Kelly Oubre Jr. down in the paint. He was catching lobs for lay-ins. He was in the post, backing guys down, bumping the chest, creating contact, leaning into guys in the way that the 76ers fans were begging him to do for like 5 seasons. I've never seen Tobias Harris play this physical before, and quite frankly, it wasn't really until the second half we really got to see that after 2 halves of the stadium booing him repeatedly, and his teammates helping him develop a lead, and us not helping ourselves. It was in the second half that Tobias kind of got his chest and started playing some bully ball against us, and that was easily the most embarrassing part of all of this. Was having to watch Tobias Harris play bully ball. One of the things I really wanted to check out here was, because there's really not a lot to talk about with the game. But in the press conference afterwards, Nick Nurse had a few things to say. I like to hear him talk about one of the biggest problems that we had last night was our lack of rebounding.
And you have to sacrifice rebounding.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. I think that we do get to a pretty small lineup. We actually start a fairly small lineup, right? I still think that, those guys got to just do a little bigger job than their position or size indicate. Kelly and Caleb got to be good defensive rebounders. They aren't the biggest guys in the world, but they're both athletic, and they gotta chase them down. And then I think, when Drum's in, it feels like we got a pretty good chance. But even he wasn't quite as dominant as he's felt at the defensive glass tonight. Then when he's not out, then it really becomes everybody's got to fight like heck. Yeah.
For a team with such high expectations, how would you sum up your first 4 games?
Well, I don't think we've played very well, right? I think we played really, really good in Indiana.
Talking about Andre Drummond not quite stepping up the way we would liked him to have last night. Drummond's been instrumental in our rebounding, solving our rebounding problems. I had a lot of good to say about him in previous shows, and last night it was just a weird thing to see him not really going after. I don't know. He just seemed to be. I mean, he was having an off game. Guys are going to have off games. Tyrese spoke in the press conference as well about just, guys are going to make mistakes. You have to keep getting at it. You have to play better. We have to adjust. And the margin for error is basically non-existent, which is absolutely true. Something Coach Nurse spoke about here is when guys are crashing the boards and extending themselves at crashing the boards, right? And not getting back on transition. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of the Pistons getting away from us in transition last night. It was just a bad game where nobody actually was able to step up. We sent one guy out there to really try to make an impact, and that seems to be where we are right now. With no real timeline for Joel or Paul George to get back in it. This is what we're looking at, guys. It is virtually unwatchable basketball. Unwatchable basketball. At this point, if you're in the stadium, you're there for the environment and the camaraderie amongst one another. But that is one expensive hangout session, man. I don't know. You guys let me know how you feel down in the comments. Let me know what you thought about the game, where you think the team's headed, and how disappointed you are to find out that we have no idea when we're going to have our full lineup healthy and ready to go. Do me a favor. If you like the content, go down below and apply pressure to the corresponding buttons. I would appreciate that. It will help the channel out a lot. And do yourself a favor. Get close to God, and whatever you do, do good first. All right? Peace.